my guest today is Kenyan-born beauty queen on a mission. She is a sustainable fashion designer. She's an activist and she's a lecturer. Welcome, Vicky Ngari.
Hello.
Is that the right pronunciation, by the way?
Vicky Ngari. Did you say Ngari?
Ngari, I said.
Thank you.
Ngari.
Yes, I need to hear that South African.
Yes.
Side of it. Ngari. Yes.
Exactly.
Ngar. It's
Ngari.
like Ngari actually means like the courage of a lion. So if I had to roar with it.
I like that. My initials are RAW, so I resonate with that very well.
Roar.
The roar of a lion.
Love it. I love it. I actually found out recently through one of those ancestral DNA things that I'm 12% South African. Khoisan people. I can't click. Can you click?
How interesting. So I also did one, and I also have Kenyan blood in me. I can't remember the percentage.
Yeah.
And I apparently also have some Sierra Leonean in me.
You're nice.
So I'm quite exotic, I'll have you know.
You're going to claim it all. I'm claiming it all.
Claiming it all.
Cameroonian.
Yes.
All of it. Kenyan, Eritrean, Ethiopian, all of it.
It's so fascinating when you see the different countries that they say that you're from. Yeah. And then you realize that it sort of goes across the top of the continents and then down to South Africa.
Yeah.
So that looks like it may have been the spice route. So my ancestors were probably trading, you know, on the spice route, going up and down.
Yeah, of course.
Over and down. Because I seem to have a little bit of everyone's blood sort of going across and then down to South Africa.
Yeah, it's always the Bantu people traveled across south, central, east.
Yes. So, our theme today is African beauty, because we're both African beauty queens. I thought it was appropriate. So, tell us how your journey began into fashion and beauty.
Okay, so fashion and beauty, like fashion, I've always been interested in as a young girl. When I went to uni, I was working like so many different jobs. One of them was at a gym, and then I met this stylist at the time, Claire Watson, and she was doing all the covers and all the magazines. So I basically pestered her, and I was like, I need to come and assist you. Eventually, she caved in, and that's how my styling fashion journey kind of started. And then I was really passionate about seeing Africa in fashion. I would, even when there was like themes around safari, I would really try to push it. But then they would be more that kind of safari, you know, that look where like Westerners going on safari look. So not real Africa style the way I knew it. So I was so passionate about it. But whenever I would wear like my materials or my prints or whatever in the fashion industry, I'd literally get these looks like too samey, like literally that kind of. So it's really exciting right now seeing African fashion being highlighted. But I have to say more West African fashion, more Nigerian, because I like the way it's so generalized because there's so many different nations in Africa. And then just started volunteering of what, you know, any African platform, including beauty pageants, to just kind of put my, you know, build my portfolio like everyone does, you know, just style, whatever. And then Miss Kenya, Miss East Africa UK were like, yeah, you can come and join in, do this behind the scenes stuff. I'm always a very behind the scenes kind of production girl, creative industries. I like to get my hands dirty. And then they were like, you have to join. And
so you won Miss.
And then I won.
Yeah, you won Miss Kenya in 2008.
2008.
So how did that feel? How was that? So you started working backstage, and then you were encouraged to participate.
Yeah, that was my intention, and then the founder was like, you need to join. after Miss Kenya and everything, I think I'm a bit, with beauty pageants, I'm not that keen, or haven't been that keen on them in the past, but I'm also a bit in between, because they do give a lot of young women opportunity, you know, from countries and places that it's not so easy to have opportunity. So I've always said this to you, like, my dream is to have a beauty pageant or host one that is completely different, beauty from a different sense. So in that aspect, having that title allowed me to walk into rooms that I might have not been able to walk into. Mm-hmm. Yes, given that I had that Beauty Queen title, because it can also taint things when you do have something serious to say in a room full of businessmen and foundations and all of this stuff.
Do you feel like they didn't take you seriously?
Well, yeah. Well, I think now I'm going to sound like a real beauty privilege here.
It's so hard.
Yes, I'm going to say it though. But no matter, beauty on one hand can open a lot of doors for you. On the other hand, when you walk through that doors, proving your worth and being taken seriously is a whole nother thing. It's a complete catch-22. And it can stun you from either your own self-development, because you rely on beauty so much, or it can propel you, but leaving behind some of the most purposeful things, you know, like most meaningful things and meaningful actions. So I kind of felt like I had to choose, you know, being in rooms where you have white men in suits talking about how to save Africa, and I'm African, like I don't come from wealth. I don't, you know, like, and saying, actually, no, that's not how it works, you know? Yeah. So I did have that, like, okay, am I going to do the real work? Am I going to choose to go the route of doing the real work? Or am I going to choose the route to flash all of this? And probably be successful at that. Right. A lot more money.
So at the beauty show, what I'm trying to do is sort of redefine beauty so that we all understand that it's not just skin deep, because I know people think, and as you were saying, if you are physically beautiful, sort of conventionally beautiful, where you seem beautiful to other people, it can open but also close doors. But I'm curious to know, as a beauty queen, do you feel that it's hindered you in any way in terms of getting those doors opened? Like, do you really feel like you have to work harder to prove that you have more to you? Like,
I think I naturally had that anyway as a Black woman, that I would have to work a lot harder than anyone else in the room. But as a beauty queen, yes, it depends on what level, really. It depends on what level, because you don't have to work that hard for people to let you in the room with beauty.
Yeah, but once you're in that room.
Yeah. Once you're in the room and there is investors or there is whatever, are they going to be listening to what you're saying, or are you going to have to like dance around or try take your makeup off, take your makeup down to be able to be heard? So
did you ever feel like people immediately assume that you're not very smart because you are perceived as attractive?
Not until I open my mouth. No, I think, as much as I'm quite a bubbly person, I don't think I say silly things. And if I do, I'm quite happy to own it and back it up with the work. At the end of the day, you can't hide the work. It's like, okay, what have you done? There you go. There you go. What else? It's like, there you go. What else do you want? Like, it's all, like, right now, it's so funny because I'm launching my brand and doing, you know, just, and it's such a weird thing because I've been on the ground literally doing the work, and now it's time to show up and show out. I hide a lot. And every time I'm speaking to someone, they ask me a question like, do you understand this? Have you done this? I'm like, there you go. There you go. I've really done the work, and I've filmed the process as well. So I'm literally sending
Right.
images of videos. So I don't think hard work is hard work. But I guess also going back to beauty, beauty is also hard work as well.
Yes.
You know, once you have that, the maintaining it is hard work. And when life comes, you know, at you, it's also hard work to maintain that side of things.
Yeah. Do you think social media and sort of being a beauty queen and having social media pushing a certain narrative about this perfection, do you feel more pressure than the average person, or is it the same for everyone, do you think?
I think social media, I'm like, oh, I'm so mad I didn't jump on it before all the algorithm issues and stuff like that. But I would have been so mad at myself just putting up nonsense at the same time. So I put my own pressure on what I'm delivering too. So it's only, thank God, now with the whole idea of content and ownership that I'm glad I've held so much back. So that when it's time to deliver, like, I'm long gone, like, because you're seeing the delivery of the hard work. But so when I look at it and I think, my God, and it's only because I have friends that are influencers and they tell me the real deal about what they have to do to portray that perception, and what they go through mentally as well, is that I don't feel that pressure to want to do it, but I can see how you can look at that and be like, oh my God, I'm not living. I'm not living.
Right.
I'm not.
I had an interesting thing happen to me where I started to feel like I just want to post unfiltered, unedited pictures of myself and post about my age and post about the real Roberta and do more video because you can't really retouch that. And I had actually had friends who care about me deeply call me and say, are you okay? Like, why are you posting these types of images? Why are you showing yourself, you know, in the raw? And I think that's so interesting. Yes, people are so used to seeing these edited pictures or, you know, not being comfortable with your age or whatever. And I really just don't have a problem with it at all. And I'm happy to tell anybody how old I am.
Look at you.
But it was interesting that people were like, oh my God, are you okay? So social media is an interesting beast for sure.
Well, I don't know whether you're allowed to talk though. You're like stunning. You're ridiculous. Like, people don't even understand. I don't think they even see you, Roberta, even in your amazing pictures. Like, when you're out with you and you walk into a room, the way you put yourself together, everything, it's on another level, Roberta. I don't care what no one says. Even without looking, no, it is. So you're not allowed to really have that much to say because your beauty is incredible.
Oh, thank you. It
sure
comes from within.
Yes, of course.
I think my granny used to say to me that you can be beautiful on the outside but ugly on the inside. So it's really important to be a good person and have a good heart, because that's what's going to make you beautiful forever. And it's literally stuck in my mind my whole entire life, just to try to be a good person and have a good heart, so that you can stay beautiful forever. So if people want to know what my secret is, that's part of it.
Yeah, at peace. Being at peace. And that's not a joke either.
Yeah.
Because I think I felt like I lost my beauty.
Tell me more about that.
Well, I feel like I lost my beauty. Okay, so before I was engaged.
Oh, wait, I was meant to. Yes. So congratulations on finding your person.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Congrats. So you're engaged.
Yes, I'm
engaged. And tell us more.
Oh, he's amazing. He's beautiful. Like, he's so handsome, but he's so beautiful, like, as a person. Like, the way he talks to me is so gentle with me. You know, like, and the way he is with Paige, like my daughter, like they are. I feel like God has just said, okay, you paid enough dues. There you go.
Nice.
That one, yeah, he's amazing.
Oh, amazing.
But
well, God's still preparing mine, so mine obviously needs a little bit more work. So
I mean, the whole pandemic, like, so I had to try years ago. So I was a single mom, and that can be really, really like tough on you. But
yeah,
I couldn't say that I felt like I lost my beauty in that period, because I was training hard. I was just like fight mode. Ridiculous how much things that I was going through.
right.
And I fight mode for so many years, and I didn't realize that. And then meeting my fiance now, and then throughout this whole pandemic as well, like there were so many things that happened. Like it was just mind blowing. We got locked out of the country. And then and then I had my grandmother, I had to go and see her in Kenya. And then we got stuck there. And we only intended to leave with one bag. So the whole time, you know, those travel bags that you...
Right.
For like 2 months.
Oh my God.
I ran out of everything. And then the whole issue of the pandemic. And then like having somebody there saying, I love you, you're beautiful, whatever. I wasn't in survival mode anymore.
Right.
All this trauma started coming up, and I felt like I lost everything that was my identity in terms of beauty, in terms of holding on to survival. Because again,
right.
goes back to the idea of using beauty as a weapon, as a door knocker, as a way to all that was gone. And I was like, trauma. I was like, I can't just go to the gym. I can't go and get my makeup. I can't go and get my hair done. I can't go and whatever. And I can't just say I need time alone. Right. Like, we're here. We're facing each other.
That concentrated time together.
Concentrated, and also with nothing that represented my identity.
Yeah. Including
like natural things and holistic things that I love. So I'm two minds with beauty. I'm like, I realized I think it's everything spiritual, and I think it's everything internal and natural. And I also think, yes, there's a vanity to it. And
right.
That's okay too.
So he saw you with no nails, no weave, no wig, no makeup.
No weave, no wig, the worst hair ever, the worst like makeup that wasn't nails. It was just, and then on top of that, the ugliness inside, all the trauma that was like coming out of me, you know?
Do you feel that falling in love made you more beautiful?
Wow, that's a good one. Do you want the honest opinion?
That's what we're about here, honesty.
Don't make it like... In a way, like when I go out into the world, I know that yes, I guess, yeah, you do. You feel more because of the person. And also, like, you go out and you know that if you're available, there's a potential all the time. So you're either on defense and having to, like, protect your energy, you know, or having to push back or not or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, you do go out with a sense of security, I would say, because it's real love. Like, it's genuine love, and we like each other. We like each other. We're for each other.
That is like so important. And I mean, it's really interesting that you guys got to really know each other during this pandemic, with this concentrated time with each other, and to see each other in the raw. There was no airs and graces and turning up all dolled up. He saw you as you are.
Like, and this is a white man. I don't think he's ever even dated he hasn't dated a black woman before, but he was just like, okay, so you wrap your hair before you go to bed. It's like, okay. Yes, you cannot touch it. It's like, interesting. Okay.
That is so funny. Were there any funny moments where your weave is laying on the side of you and he's like, oh my God, what is that?
seen a lot of hair extensions on the edges just now. He's so funny. He now picks them up. He actually undoes my daughter's hair. Like, you know, she has rows and like she has extension. Yeah, he sits there. I'm doing it now. There's nothing. Before he was like, huh? Now he's like, excuse me, can we just talk about...
That is so funny. But it's so nice that he's so comfortable in that environment and is clearly not judging you for it. So, so my question to you would be, what is your perception of beauty, having experienced, you know, being a beauty queen and then now being in this interracial relationship and understanding the difference between obviously dating a black guy versus dating a white guy and their perception of your beauty. What is beauty to you then?
Wow, that one I wasn't expecting. That's a whole nother conversation.
Give me the small version.
Oh, I mean, in terms of the interracial aspect of it. So I think obviously when you're dating someone from your own culture and you're dating a black person or black guy, they know, like, you're wrapping your hair before you go to bed, you know? They know
They know the smell of the hot comb going through your hair.
Don't hot comb anymore, apparently. Yes, they know everything. You know, like, they understand, like, you have to cream yourself, shea butter, cocoa butter, and all of that. And yeah, I mean, so that's the difference, that he didn't know all that he hadn't dated a black woman before as well. So it was completely new to him. It was
right.
Like, so you have to moisturize your skin like every time. It's like, okay. That's like, yeah. And your kids will, you know, our kids will too. So.
And is there anything that he's doing that you're surprised by, dating a white guy?
Oh, what is he doing that is... I don't want to get in trouble, please. Not
the PC stuff. I mean,
okay. The PC stuff. Okay. What is he surprising me? I mean, I've dated different races before, so he's not.
Okay.
Here's my first white man.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
I think more the regimes, actually, talking about beauty, like, you know, if we don't have a cloth to wash with, I will use whatever piece of material that's available to make it into a cloth, because we expose it every day. So he can just jump in the shower and I'm like, babe.
Yeah, where's the loofah?
Yeah, exactly. Or like just being able to use any shower gel or any whatever. I think those differences that is funny. We just have our different sections. There's nothing really there that I'm... No, nothing. Food-wise, maybe that might be the only thing.
Right. Okay, so let's stick to the beauty theme.
Yeah, talk about the man another time.
So as a former beauty queen, do you think that being a beauty queen has impacted you negatively at all?
Has it impacted me? No, I cannot say. Look, we can't regret any journeys that we have. I think if I wasn't a beauty queen at some stage in my life, we wouldn't be sat here having this conversation. You know, as I said, it's opened so many doors. It's what I've been able to do with them. Like now I don't talk about it actually at all, because I've had to penetrate myself into a space where I have to earn the respect there in what I'm doing. And then it's just like a nice to have. Oh, on top of that, and it'd be so. I can't say that. The only other time I would say it's negatively has been maybe like going back home, because you know the idea of you're a beauty queen and you're in the West and you go home to Africa is that you've made it. And I'm still very much on my journey. I mean, we all are. Yeah. And that can be like, okay, you know, I've been in some crazy situations, probably even dangerous situations, because I'm thinking, oh, you can just call someone to give loads of money. So I think that's the only thing. Right. Going down on grassroots level, it's like I can't anymore, because I have to think about security and I have to think about and I love that. I love getting intimate with either environments or situations, or if it's looking for products, I want to go in and I want to feel it.
That's a really good segue to my next question, which is, you are a sustainable fashion designer. And I love what you say, fashion and beauty that embodies indigenous communities, ancient environmental and spiritual practices in the modern design and rituals. So, as a sustainable fashion designer and working with these indigenous people in these communities, what do you think their perception of beauty is? Like, obviously different to ours. How would you describe that?
I think it depends how traditional you go, because obviously traditionally there's, I say indigenous as a whole because like 90% of indigenous people are in Africa anyway, but that's a whole nother discussion. But it depends how traditional you go. Obviously, you know that having certain shapes, you know, maybe having certain piercings, certain markings is a sign of beauty. I've had a really big forehead and I've always been so embarrassed of it. Oh no, not like mine. And I've been so embarrassed of it, but in, you know, in Kenya, it's seen as beautiful. Yeah. So it just depends how traditional you go. Unfortunately, because we have been so colonized, more and more people in rural areas, particularly in Africa, have been conditioned to see beauty as the West. Western standards, whether that's products being shipped there all the time or images or whatever. It's like, you know, some of the women that I work with, you know, on the side, they'll do like soap making. And I'm like, what do you use for that soap? But these are things that are chemical filled. They're going to buy ingredients to make the soap, to resell. I'm like, okay, if we go back and look at our traditional ways, what did your grandmother teach you? What soap did you use? Which leaf was it? Was it wax? Did you use all those traditional methods? So it depends, basically, how deep you go. But unfortunately, that there is a decolonization that needs happening with that, because they're making synthetic soaps to sell, and we're here in the West looking for the natural soaps that are so on trend and everything now. But I think it's starting to happen gradually, slowly. So that's where my work and my passion comes from, is how can we frame what they already have so they don't have to chase the West to supply what we need. Yeah.
And then interestingly, the West are copying Africa in terms of the butt implants and big lips and, you know, sort of emulating an African idea of beauty. So it's so weird how it seems as if everyone wants what they don't have.
Well, it's just colonization. It's just it.
Yeah.
And that's the
And the bleaching of the skin is also a very big thing in Africa. It's so dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Skin bleaching, all of those things. In fashion and beauty, is like if I held up a Nike, sorry, I shouldn't say brands, but if I held up a branded sports shirt and, you know, traditional baobab material shirt with flax linen, like, what would that young boy who's been watching all these adverts go towards? He'd be like, oh, I want that because this footballer is wearing that. And it's like, actually, that's the most thing. So it's a whole decolonization. And I think Britain has to, I say Britain because they're the first, but we have to take responsibility for that mindset, because otherwise everyone's paying for it.
And what do you think the first steps to doing that would be? As a British person, what could we start doing to help the cause, as it were?
Well, I think start making that kind of natural products and natural, you know, the stories around products, you know, like whether it's beauty or fashion, making the stories cool and not just African, as in like, you know, Nigeria in the 70s when they came over to Britain, but actually the stories behind the garments we wore way before that, making that cool, because then it will slow us down to go, you know, then we'll see famous people wearing it or doing it. And then guess what? Those young kids in rural Africa are going to see it too. And they're going to be like, but that's like, I have that.
Yeah.
I have one already passed down from my grandmother.
I feel like we're on that journey though, because I just recently went to Ghana, and it seems as if every African American was visiting Ghana in the last year or two. And so they wearing traditional dress and shooting videos wearing traditional dress. So I feel like we're slowly, it's becoming cool with this whole Wakanda, which I just think, you know, it to me, when I was in Ghana, it was the first time that I felt like, I'm obviously South African, but I don't feel like South Africa is like a Wakanda that I would imagine in my mind. But Ghana really felt like this is home. Like this is how Africa should feel, right? And people are really proudly wearing their African attire on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be an event for them to dress up. Whereas in South Africa, it's more like at events we'll wear traditional dress. And I really love that. I love that just for every day you would wear.
Even shea butter is becoming such a huge thing over here now. I'm like, yes, like shea butter that is churned completely naturally, black soap, all these beauty regimes that are just like, we've always had it. Like,
the consumer is definitely more educated now, I feel. People know what toxins are in the mainstream products and they want to go more organic.
But even the rituals around them. I love the rituals around a lot of the stuff that we have, or like my bag, for instance. You know, it's a basket, but the shape of it represents community. You know, there's a meditation around weaving. There's all of those things that we can invoke from the product. So it's not just a product. So when you're talking about inner beauty and outer beauty, you have the result of the outer beauty, but actually if you engage with the product rituals around it, the story, it naturally plays into your inner beauty. And I think that's what saved me from completely losing it at times, is that trying to find that core and inner beauty and weave it with the outer.
I love that. That is really beautiful.
Yeah.
So your bags, I'm just, that is, to me, the idea that there's so much more to it than just this grass bag. Is really interesting. So how did you start this journey to sustainable fashion then? How did you get into that?
So because being in the room with lots of non-Africans talking about saving Africa.
Right.
And it was like, no, that's not actually how it is on the ground. Like there's certain intricacies that you need to understand in dealing, you know, that you can't understand unless you're there. And
you go there.
And that was that really. And it was like, okay, so I wanted to focus on women and how we can mobilize women and youth and young women to have an education. But I was like, what's the point of an education if the jobs of the future are not going to be all going to be automized anyway? What are we doing? Like, but since everybody's looking at sustainable fashion and sustainable products, what about if they stay in school there, where they are, farm the land, can earn money and still be part of this industry? Right. And that's really it. And I started walking the journey, basically, working with different rural communities and get like all the way from the UK to actually being on the ground, grassroots filming, went through a hectic time. But those workshops are the result of my bag. I mean, like seriously hectic time, and which has allowed me to now look at the wider problem and actually come back as saying, okay, this is what we need. This is how we need to use technology, because security is a huge thing. Trust, transparency, all this stuff. Like,
so why a bag versus a shoe or a jewelry or something? Why the bag specifically?
Because it's Kikuyu from my people, and I couldn't say that I chose an accessory or a bag strategically until recently. It was just what I was drawn to spiritually, and just I went to the Cambridge Museum of Anthropology and Archaeology, looked at the most ancient kyondos and garments from Africa, and I was just drawn to the bag. And once I discovered this whole, there's just so much. Like I'm speaking to Professor Joseph, forgive me, we call him Mukuyu, and he's gone really deeply into the Kikuyu traditions around Kyondo and the cosmology around that, interior and exterior. So it's been this love engagement to try and reawaken it. But one of the huge things is in Africa, obviously in African art, and is that, trademark and intellectual property has been such a big thing. So I've had to walk the walk fully, like waiting for trademarks, waiting for everything. That's why it's taken so long. Because I don't want to be here just selling products and whatever. I either want to be the African Chanel, but in the most real way. Like when I'm gone, this bag is here, like Chanel, because it represents African legacy, heritage, royalty, and everything natural and indigenous that we are in a really stylish, high-end way. So it's a long ass journey.
I love that. I'm reading a bit of your bio about African heritage, and I love the part where you talk about it's awakening the beautiful essence of traditional African heritage in handmade products and cultural experience.
Yeah.
Because that is exactly what we just talked about, like creating this bag made by these indigenous people, helping these women to skill themselves and then find employment, have a way of making money and supporting their families. Which is something that can never be taken away from them. So do you have people who are supporting you financially in that, like a charity or something? Was it just all you?
No. I will be ready to ask for money though.
Right.
I'm ready to ask for money. So it's pretty much been hustling. And yes, I've had some incredible people supporting with small, here and there. Of course, I can't say that, but so it's just because once you're doing all that, it's great, but how are you going to get it to the market? So I represent like another sustainable brand, Casal. And that, allows me to stay in the fashion world and sustainable fashion conversations and stuff like that. But it's not easy, like this, when you're talking about beauty in and out, I think one of the biggest things, like going back to being in survival mode, is not being in survival mode now. Like being a mother and being it's also work.
Trust me, I know.
Exactly. So I decided like I can either push hard and keep staying at that survival mode, but then all of this inner and outer beauty will go. It will deteriorate very quickly, and I'm not willing to compromise on that. So I think beauty, to sum it up, beauty for me is longevity, and just like the women that I work with, the resilience is incredible. So I think beauty is about resilience in all aspects, whether it's maintaining stuff, making it resilient from the outside, or your body or your skin, your hair, whatever, and also resilience of your spirit, and also resilience not in a harsh, I'm going to fight, the resilience of I'm going to fight for myself. This is my time, this is what makes me feel, meditating makes me feel like this, so I'm going to be resilient in that. But I'm still learning.
Yeah. No, I love that. Do you think that feeling beautiful also makes you obviously like more confident? Because
yes,
do you think beauty plays a big part in whether or not you're confident in yourself?
The vain idea of beauty, like vanity. Yes. And if anyone tells you different, it's a lie.
Right.
Oh my God. Yes, and yes, and yes. And more so now than I ever felt. listen, after this thing, I can't wait to put on heels. Like,
right.
I can't wait to do that, but for a reason though, you know. But I also want to go to the gym and work out and actually make sure it's from inside, because I can put on makeup, look great, but if I haven't meditated, I'm horrible. I'm not nice when I haven't meditated.
Right.
But yes, you're right. It does make you feel good. Whatever way, there's no conventional way of, you know, looking, but whatever to do to enhance how you feel and look. Absolutely, yes. It does feel good.
Okay, so in one sentence, what is beauty to you?
Beauty to me is woven from an internal light that ignites a physical expression of beauty.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready either. That was.
I wasn't ready. I love that.
That was pure spirit. What did I say? What did I say?
Whatever it is, I loved it.
I love it.
Beauty,
too.
igniting something. It just, that was very sexy. I felt beautiful as you said it.
Yeah, it really does. It's whatever that is that makes that feeling where you're like inspired to be beautiful, whether it's to be nice, to do something nice, to dress nice, to change, you know, like whatever that light is that ignites but genuinely, like, you don't have to prove. You know, I think this, and we can talk about this because let's just say, you know, hanging out with other beautiful women physically, or hot girls or whatever, it can sometimes be a weird dynamic, you know, of like competition or
jealousy or
jealousy and stuff like that. But I, you know, like I want everyone in the room to be at their best. You know, I want everyone to be in the room at their best when I'm feeling my best. You know, we've got to be honest with that. When I'm feeling my best. When I'm not feeling my best, I don't want to see y'all like glowing and I feel like crap. No, but we should be open to talk about that. So then you have this sisterhood of like, come on, you know, like let's encourage each other.
No, I love that. Supporting each other in those moments that you're not feeling that beautiful is so important.
Yeah.
So I have really enjoyed our chat today. I mean, I feel like we've really sort of uncovered, unpacked what it means to be an African beauty queen.
Yeah.
You know, navigating your way through life your way. And I really love what you said about your perception of beauty, just coming from the inside and being this light that you ignite. It's just so beautiful.
It's not always there. But
hey, half of it is thinking and believing it so that it can shine through, right? We don't always feel good.
Something about you though. I want to ask you, because I think it's really rare to have such a beauty like yours, and I think we're really similar in the fact that we haven't been flaunting it as much as we probably could have.
Right. I think that's because we're very rarely do you find women who are happy for each other to do well, and I think I'm one of those friends who really want my friends to be successful. And I know a lot of people sometimes are not like that, right? They want to be the ones on the top and they don't want to try to help you, or they don't want to support you to get there. They don't want to... And if I think about what beauty is to me, it would be just knowing and loving yourself so unconditionally that none of those external things can affect you. And like you say, it is really hard.
I think that's the main thing. It's hard. It's not like I have not recently, like I was so low, so low, and nobody talks about this, but you shouldn't be low because you're beautiful. Like,
I know.
what, you shouldn't struggle because I'm beautiful. Like, that's ridiculous. And it is such
and people don't expect you to have any problems at all because they deem you to be attractive, and so attractive people should never have any problems. But you know, when you look out into the world and you see how many people, you know, commit suicide or suffer with depression or any of these things, and you think to yourself, but she was really talented, or she was really beautiful, or he was really amazing, but you don't know what's going on in people's lives, and you just assume that because on the external they are representing themselves in a way that looks like they've got their shit together.
Oh, the best at it. The best at it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and I want to say, if anybody watches this and ever felt like that, I've been there too. And it's not an overnight thing. It's literally just, it's like a momentum. It's like a train you have to catch, but you don't catch it because you try. You catch it because you practice. It's like a ritual. And then all of a sudden the train goes, yeah, you're next. And then you just start slowly feeling better about yourself. But this idea that you should be feeling great, no, it doesn't happen like that. The fight is in just the everyday habit and the everyday ritual. Because I'm like talking about beauty queens. The beauty queen, I forgot her name, that committed suicide apparently in New York. Oh, that like, you know, when something just, because I get it. I really get it, because she was trying so hard with her career. But you just saw her, oh, she's the beautiful, nice girl. Yeah, she's amongst people. She's got work, she'll make it happen. But actually, she was really struggling. Really struggling. And probably dealing with a lot of other things. You know?
That she never got to talk about. And so I think these conversations, and also just like having almost like having a buddy, you know, someone that you could just soundboard off of, you know, someone that is happy to hear your problems and try to give you advice or whatever. I know lots of people are not really into therapy, but even just having a friend. And in this pandemic, we realize just how many people are suffering with loneliness or even just feeling alone. So you might not think that you're lonely, you know, but spending all of that time on your own, the last thing you're thinking about is whether or not you're beautiful. You're just dealing with internal stuff. So that's like last on your list. And all this mindfulness stuff is what people are talking about at the moment, that I think is equally as important, right? Getting your mind healthy and happy. And I mean, a beautiful mind will be a beautiful person, right?
Yeah, love that.
Well, I think we are almost done. We've run out of time, but it's been lovely chatting to you. Probably do it again, which will be amazing.
Yes.
So if people want to see your stuff, they can go to...
daughters.
Pardon?
We didn't talk about our beautiful daughters and how that plays on, but next time, another time.
Yes, we can do a mother and daughter chat next time.
Yeah.
But so people can find you at vickingari.com if they want to know what you're up to. And the same for all your social media, right? It's just your name, at Vicky. Ngari is Ngari. Ngari. Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And this has been The Beauty Show.
The Beauty Show, baby. Keep it locked.
We're redefining what beauty is. Take care. Lovely to talk to you.
See you later.
Bye.